Welcome to the podcast, Working Drummer. Dynamic interviews that tell you everything you need to know about being a professional drummer and a few things you may not want to know. Produced by Mike Jackson and hosted by myself, Matthew Krause.
Taking it from the top.
One of the things that I'm trying to include on, I just have a couple videos on my YouTube channel, but it's always live stuff. It's me playing with the band.
Yep.
You know, so I know that not everybody has that situation. You know, or maybe they're a young player, or maybe that they're just not interested in. When I worked retail, a lot of our best customers were, I guess, for lack of a better term, hobbyists. You know, people with just regular day jobs.
Oh, yeah.
That spent insane amount of money on beautiful drum sets. They weren't given kits but especially in Ohio, a non-music town like Columbus, it wasn't pro players.
Wicked expensive hobby.
It is, and there are numerous examples, whether it's boats or anything, or Hummel figurines. It can all be very expensive.
Yeah,
but these and some of the players would come in and they'd be messing around on kits. I'm like, man, what a killer groove. That's really great. Who do you play with? Man, I don't have time. My work is really busy. But they were great. They were great players.
Wow.
But they would stay in their basement and like, Che, check out my room, and I've got this video, and I've got these posters of all these. And it's just
isn't that amazing that the only difference between them and us is that we've declared ourselves professional musicians, and that is our calling, and we make that. It's where you put your focus. Like, our focus is on that, connecting with other musicians, playing live, and being able to make our living exclusively from music.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that want to do that have these cushy day jobs, and it's really a willingness to go all in.
I've got some.
You got some?
I'm good.
And 2, 3, 1.
That was great.
So I want to talk about endorsements. One of the things we cover a lot is, we like to mention companies that people are representing, to give them this platform to do. We also want to talk about advice for those seeking endorsements, kind of how, and you covered a bit of that. Yeah,
endorsements are a mutually beneficial relationship. It's like the shark and that little thing that cleans the shark's back. You know what I mean? And they go hand in hand. And it's basically, it becomes a friendship, but it is ultimately a business relationship in the sense that I believe in a certain product. I want to play the certain product. It makes me happy. And then the company provides that product to me because through recordings and touring and television, those are your 3 avenues of exposure for that company. You're providing basically advertising for that company. So when you're on the big stage and the camera is on you and the lights are on you and they see Sabian and they see Remo and they see DW, and sticks are a little bit harder. So that's why you can use social media as your responsibility as an endorser is to use social media to let people know, these are my 5B sticks. You know what I mean? I love them and I wrap them, and I love them because of this. And here I am twirling my 5B sticks, or, and just letting the world know that you use these products and why. But and there's different levels of endorsements. Like I got my first thing was with Regal. Thank you, Carol Collado. I got a Regal tip endorsement in like 1995. I was playing at North Texas State, and I was playing around Dallas, Texas, and she was, I think at the time, was seeing Steve Edelson, God rest his soul, but he was with Remo. And so I was able to cultivate a relationship with Remo and Regal Tip sticks. And this was before I was playing in a touring band or anything. I was still a student. But what I did was I let them know, I gave them a calendar of the year, a month-by-month calendar, and I wrote all the gigs that I had played, and they were seeing that I was between churches and pickup gigs and big bands and school gigs, and all the gigs all over Dallas, Texas. Like all the gigs. I would sub for, Keith Carlock with Dallas Brass and Electric, and I would play in Bill Tillman, who played in Blood, Sweat, and Tears, and there was a band called Random Access. I was working all the time. They're like, wow, well, yeah, here's a a cost deal. And then I was able to, over the next 25 years, as my career grew, I kept letting people know, still loving your product. This is what I'm using. These knowledge is power. And so at least once a month, everybody gets an email from me saying, these are the educational events I have going on. This is what I'm doing with Jason Aldean. These are the television shows that I'm on. These are new records that I have. And so they know that their money is being spent wisely.
So still, you're sending out, I mean, you're in contact with...
Every month.
Every month.
Every month. Yeah.
Wow.
And I have cell phones. I'd be like, look hey, you want to come to the show tonight? Or it becomes about personal relationships. And sometimes you have the personal relationship first, and you say, hey, I really like these Pro Mark 5Bs. Is there any way I can become an artist? And you're like, yeah, send me your stuff. And there you go. You got to send me your stuff. What's your stuff? You got to have a one sheet. People are like, what's a one sheet? It's a PDF. It opens up, and it just basically, there's a picture of you, all your accomplishments. It opens up on any device.
Yeah.
Do you have a website? Do you have a YouTube channel? Make it easy for that person to find you on the interweb and get a sense of, this is what this person has done and is doing, and would they be a smart investment of our advertising budget? Because these companies only have so much money. There's only so many things that they could give away. It's not just like free gear. They're giving you the gear because they want that massive exposure.
Yeah.
So, if you're playing in a circuit band on every Friday and Saturday night, it might not be enough to garner a endorsement. They want to see 5 nights a week, or somebody that has a single on the radio, or somebody that's playing the college NACA circuit, and they're playing to 2,000 people a night, or they have a music video out, or something that can start the conversation.
Sure. Sure.
So until you get to that point, it's not really a good use of your time to chase that. I would just spend the time practicing, and then when you get that gig, you can go, all right, now I can get some sticks, heads, cymbals, and drums.
Right.
You know, and the best thing about an endorsement is there's a lot of boutique companies out there, and those are amazing companies. And I might play somebody's boutique snare drum in a recording studio, but for serious touring drummers, you have to be aligned with a major brand, because you have to be able to get parts and get drum sets anywhere on the planet.
Yeah.
So that's going to limit you to 5 to 7 major brands.
Yeah. I know, even listening to a podcast with Steve Smith on I'd Hit That, he talks about endorsing Sonar.
That was a challenge, yeah.
And doing gigs in China. Who has Sonar drums, but maybe not at the level that he wants. But he has to carry a whole stack of heads, and so he switches out the heads for this student line Sonar kit, but he's going to play Sonar.
Yeah, and even like a big city like Los Angeles, if Steve Smith, Danny Carey, or Jack DeJohnette needed a Sonar drum set, I wasn't getting one. You know what I mean? Because there's only so many Sonar drum sets. So if I'm doing a television show and those dudes wanted the drums, I wasn't. So like a company like DW, you're going to find DW drums in Madagascar and in Southeast Asia. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Not only are they making an amazing quality product, it's American company.
Yeah.
There's all the right reasons to play the instrument. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everywhere you want to be. So who are your endorsements? I mean, I know you've mentioned them, but just
DW drums since 2011. I signed with DW Drums and did the 50th anniversary, I think, of the Percussive Art Society, like the week later. And I was like, man, these people aren't messing around. They paid for my flight. A limo picked me up from the airport. They helped me set up my drums at the event, all with a smile on their face, and I got paid to do it. It was like, wow, I am in the right spot. It's just they totally reinvented the wheel. Those drums, the finish, the quality, the aesthetics, the way they sound, the consistency, unbelievable. Sabian since 2004.
Okay.
And ProMark, it's, God, how many years has it been? Maybe 5 or 6 years. I need to find that out. And then Remo is the cat daddy, man. I've been there since 1995.
Oh, wow.
Long time with Remo.
So when you were in Texas?
When I was in Texas, as I'm getting my master's, going to University of North Texas and just playing around Texas, they believed in me and they offered me a discount, and then it became an allocation.
How did you make that connection with that?
That was through Carol Collado. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So once again, through a personal relationship.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
Wow. Hey, and she's retweeted some of our podcasts.
That's
She's
awesome.
been sweet.
Hey, Carol.
Yeah.
And now I'm at ProMark, and of course, Marco Sicoli. Yay, Marco, Grappa Man,
Yeah. What's the rest of your year look like, man? What's going on with you?
Usually the way we tour with Aldean, we do the last 5 years have been very fortunate. We do 80 shows because he has a Live Nation deal, so we kind of know the whole year. It gets mapped out. So the first usually 6 months of the year, we play Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And we'll take a week off, take 2 weeks off, and then July hits, and from July to November 1st, there's nothing, no Thursday, Friday, Saturdays off. We are working all of my Saturday nights until before Christmas are accounted.
But Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then you're home.
Then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. That's where the Tetris of my life comes together. It's
okay.
It's like what I call an evil game of Tetris. First come, first serve with what I do with my Sunday through Wednesday. So I know I have to write a certain number of songs for my publishing deal. So I have to write songs. Somebody might book a motivational or corporate event, so I squeeze that in. Mm-hmm. New Voice Entertainment might be working. We're working on the second Parmalee record right now. So we're 8 tracks into the new Parmalee record. So we'll probably cut 15 to 18 songs and whittle that down for their second release. And then there's the time that I like to spend in Los Angeles. I'm teaching at Thomas Lang's Big Drum Bonanza coming up. So it's going to be me. I'm so happy to be on the list. Me, Matt Garska, Greg Bissonette, all these awesome.
Great. Yeah.
Okay, I'll represent Nashville. So that's going to be fun. So it's kind of there is some planning. If New Voice gets something, and I have to call a clinic that I have booked and say, hey, let's reschedule this because the only time this band that's touring full time can get into the studio is this day.
I was going to say, does something all of a sudden take precedence when do other things have to get? But I know some things are more flexible.
Obviously, if Jason calls or New Voice calls, those are my 2 first companies. I kind of you have to work around that.
Yeah,
and then I just fill in around that, and I just
you have a date with your wife, November 12th.
November 14th, she gets back in town, and that's when we start the 7th Aldean record.
I was close, wasn't I?
Yeah,
I was just throwing that number out there.
November 14th. I try to surround myself with really positive, like-minded people, and so I just have hooked up with my friend JC, who's created this amazing product called Drum Tax, and Moon Gel's work, they're a little ugly. Drum Tax are awesome because they're sexy, and you can also put them underneath drums. You can put them underneath cymbals, and so it's actually it's a sonic variation device. It's actually a tool, perfect for studio drummers.
Yeah, yeah.
And so he has a company called Scorpio Marketing, and with also my friend Jimmy Elcock, who is a wonderful kid I met, I don't know, maybe 4 years ago in a barn on a hot summer day in New Hampshire. And I'm super proud of him because he moved to Nashville, asked all the right questions, modeled himself after people he admired, and is now the drummer and band leader for Jamie Lynn Spears. And is a salaried musician in Nashville and owns a home and owns a car. And he's well under the 5-year rule. Right. So there are no rules. I'm like, damn, dude, you crushed it.
Yeah.
So they have a company called Scorpio Marketing, which is amazing. And they're going to be working with Daniel Glass and Thomas Lang and myself and then maybe 2 other people. Okay. And they're going to be marketing our events.
I see. One last question. When do you practice?
I'm practicing right now.
You are. Thank you. That answers my question. Right?
That is an awesome question.
Thank you. Good night.
I practice for practical application of specific things that I would need to prepare for a clinic, session, or tour. The idea of just sitting down and just going, I really want to tighten up my hadabudas.
Yeah.
It's rare.
Yeah.
But I'm so happy that I put in the 12,000 hours so that muscle memory-wise, I have a lot of this stuff down.
Yeah.
Now, there are things that I would love to do. I'd love to have Thomas Lang's feet. I would love to have Jojo Mayer's hands.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, what I really like...
Jojo Mayer's foot.
Oh, Jojo, yeah. Or is it what? Yeah, his one foot.
His one foot.
I, at this point in my life, like making music with other people.
Yeah.
And ultimately... I have the skill set I need to make the music that I make.
Right.
So I fill in my time doing these other business things. I also have a consulting company called GPR Creative, and it's a creative company with 2 other people. GPR Creative, and we don't have the website yet, but it's my friend Jeremy Gold and my friend Jimmy Pemberton, and we're all drummers. We're all drummers, and Jeremy is about to graduate, top of his class from Belmont, and he is a master social media guru. He just got the job doing all the social media for Warner Brothers Records.
Nice.
And Jimmy is also a fantastic drummer. You'll also see him as the new face in Zildjian's ads for their quiet symbol.
Yes, right. Yeah.
That's Jimmy. And he lives in Boston and has a personal relationship with the Zildjian people. He's not a model. He looks like a model, but he didn't get hired through a modeling agency. It was a handshake. It was a personal relationship with the Zildjian people. He said, "Do you want to be in an ad? You're right up the street. Come on down. We got the photographer."
Yeah.
Bam. And so he works with a lot of tech companies, the game show networks. And what he does is he's a creative type that these corporations will bring in. Corporations love creative types. They bring creative types in because we're out of the box thinkers.
Right.
So he's bringing a whole other perception to things like the game show network and tech companies. And then I have this Rolodex from 18 years in Nashville of musicians and musician business type people. And so it's just a little think tank. And our first client is this girl named Lindsay Highland, who's really, really talented. She's, I believe, a Belmont graduate. And Lindsay Highlander, I'm thinking. She's Lindsay Highland on social media. See, that's how my brain works. I remember email addresses and Twitter @. And she's great. And so our whole model is, we look at her branding. We got a new photo shoot together for her. So we got a consistent image look. We got her branding together. We updated all her socials, increased her fan engagement. We looked at her business and got her running her business as a small business in the black immediately. She's profiting, not losing. And everybody thinks that the music business, you have to lose money to get to the point where you just start making money immediately. Run your business as a small business, and then it'll grow and continue and you'll have a big business before. So we do that, and then I worked with her live band to put together like an awesome show that has a great flow. Where do you talk? It's almost like live performance coaching.
Okay.
And that's what our 3-man team,
like talent development,
does. And so and Lindsay has been having a great time, and she likes the results. We're probably going to move forward with her, and we're going to continue to work with other artists that we see potential in to get their game. And basically, we take their game from A to B. C is the record deal, and that's the hard thing. Like, no one can guarantee a record deal, but GPR Creative can give you the tools to be the most successful you can possibly be and have the best shot at creating C.
And you have something that the record labels are going to say, well, they've got their shit together, and we've got something we just need to pick up and keep rolling with.
And as you know, you've worked with a lot of this young talent that moves to Nashville, and they have stars in their eyes, and they really don't know how to take the first step.
Right.
Well, a company like GPR can basically guide them in the right direction and say, we can do this for you, this for you, this for you, this for you, and give you a great start and give you the right tools.
Yeah.
So that's kind of fun.
That's nice, man. Man, so much going on.
I don't know.
That's awesome, man.
I'm just trying to stay busy, man.
Well, listen, man, you are staying busy, and just to take the time to sit down and talk to us.
This is amazing.
Awesome.
Let's go play with some of those Legos, man.
Rich, I appreciate you, man.
Oh, brother, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time.
And we realized that we met each other in 2000, and here we are. Dinosaurs were roaming the earth, and we're still here. Little arms.
That's right. See ya.
See you guys.